Hi, I'm Charlotte Gunn, and we are here with Mr. Panic at the Disco, Brennan Urie.
Hello.
Hi. How are you doing?
That was a great intro, thank you. I'm doing good, how are you?
Yeah, good. So you just got back from Wales.
Yeah.
The biggest weekend. Was it the biggest weekend?
It felt that way. Yeah, it was amazing. It was so cool. I was telling Claire that on the way up, we drove in from London, so it was like about 3.5 hour bus ride. And we were sitting in the back lounge and we were talking about the set list. We were like, well, I don't want to play these two songs, so let's do the one that we've never rehearsed, that we don't really know, and we just listened to it like 10 times on the bus over and over, just listened to the CD, and we're like, I hope we know it, I don't know. And then we got on stage and played it, and it went okay, but I love doing that. I love terrifying myself, so it made the biggest weekend like even bigger. It was so great.
Had you actually never rehearsed it?
We had never rehearsed it. We had our friend Kenny, our guitar player, playing acoustic guitar to the song, but we were just trying to retain all the lyrics, and yeah, it was crazy. I write a lot of lyrics.
Whoa.
Yeah, it was good. It was fun.
So it's been 2 years since the last record, and you've been kind of busy.
Yeah.
You've been on Broadway and in Kinky Boots. How was that?
That was awesome. That was terrifying. I almost canceled, actually. Like the day before, I called my manager, Scott. I was like, I don't know if I can go. I'm really freaking out. I don't know if I should go. He was like, trust me, it's okay. And then I've learned that if I kind of steer into that skid and jump in head first into something I'm terrified about, that usually I'll just subside all the anger and fear and anxiety to the side just so I can get through the whole process. And then I'm usually happy at the end because I just jumped into something I was so scared about, and the reward feels so much greater,
Was it lifelong ambition, or someone just approached you and you decided to do it?
Both, but I've been dreaming of theater and doing musicals and stuff as a kid, just being raised on that stuff. And when we got the invite to go see it, I'd been listening to the soundtrack maybe a couple months just as a fan of Cyndi Lauper and the movie and She Would Tell Edgy For and all those beautiful people. So we get to the theater and I'm watching the play. I'm laughing, I'm crying, it's making me feel so many emotions. At the end of it, I'm like first up on my feet, like just burst into tears, loving it, just like so happy. Then they invited us back and they asked if I wanted to be a part of the company, and I was like, in any capacity, I will sell your merch, I will usher people to their seats, I will do whatever to be a part of this family because the energy in here is amazing. And they were like, well, would you want to be the lead? And I was like, the guy with the British accent? I don't think I should do that. So, and I had to do an hour of like diction coaching and accent coaching. And I did it with this girl, Amy Jo Jackson, who's amazing, but I showed her, she's like, well, just show me what kind of Northampton accent you can do. And I was like, okay. I did it, and she was like, okay, it's a little Australian, so let's try to steer away from that. But she had to give me certain pointers, but I'm so glad I did it. It was
very
so
specific,
fun.
Northampton.
Very specific, yeah. And I still don't think I nailed it, but it was still fun. Very fun.
That's cool. And did you have to do any vocal training different? I mean, obviously you have amazing range. Everybody knows that about you. But was it a different style of singing?
Absolutely. I will say that Broadway are some of the most talented singers and the hardest working people. The schedule is grueling on its own, but vocally it is so exhausting because, especially for the two lead parts, because for me, as Charlie Price, I have 3 arguments back to back to back, so I'm screaming top of my lungs, just getting all this emotion out, and then I have the highest song I have to sing, and all these high notes and belting, and no one's helping me, and I'm just like, I hope I hit it, like go for it. But you're so tired at that point that I had to work with a couple people. I worked with this woman, Cyndi Lauper's, that's a cool name drop. I worked with Cyndi Lauper's vocal coach. Her name's Katie Agresta. And she gave me some tips. I never knew like warming up, pulling your tongue out. Like there's all these like Broadway tricks. So she helped me get my tongue unstuck, which is I guess a thing. And yeah, you just like stomp your foot down and hope that you hit the note, I guess. That was really the biggest lesson I had to learn. Wow. And it taught me a lot, and I used it all for the album especially.
Yeah, I was going to say, so new record, Pray for the Wicked, out June 22nd.
That's right. Yeah.
Good memory.
Yeah, good job.
So yeah, what did you take from that into the album? Like, were you kind of like really jazz hands in the studio?
A lot of it was hands while I was recording, yeah. There was a lot of, just vocally I was trying to push myself because my vocals definitely got stronger on Broadway because of the things I had to sing for the show. And the fact that it wasn't my own music was also different. The whole show, I'm singing these other songs written by other people, for other people, trying to mirror what they did in some way. But when I got into the studio, I realized like my vocals had ended up in different places and opened up certain parts that I never knew existed, and I was like, this is fun. Now I have an extra aspect to explore and discover and figure out where I land perfectly. So yeah, I was hitting notes higher and lower and different formants in your tone, and I learned a lot. So there's a lot of Broadway on this album.
Is there? I was going to say, like, what is the general theme? Is it kind of really personal record, or like what's the vibe?
It is. It's I guess 2 counts. You know, it's a lot of my religious upbringing, which I love bringing into play into my art because I can't deny it from my history. You know, just my childhood, the cultural significance of the Mormon faith in who I became as an adult had to be used in the album. So being able to have themes like praying for the wicked and all these things, swear to God I'll never repent, mama can I get an amen, hook it up. Yeah, I like doing that, but it's also talking about where I saw myself as a kid to now. Like I dreamed of this since I was a kid, of being where I'm at, being a singer for a band and like being a rock star. I used to make cardboard cutouts of guitars just out of a cardboard box and paint it and draw it, do the strings and everything, and then tie yarn around it, and then just sit in front of the mirror and like act like I was singing Blink-182 songs and like Queen songs and David Bowie. I would just lose myself, dreaming of being on stage. So a lot of the record is talking about that. There's a song, High Hopes, that talks about that, and a letter to my mom, Hey look Ma, I made it. That's a fun one. Yeah.
And sonically, is it kind of more poppy or like a real mishmash again, do you think?
A little bit more of a mishmash, but there are some like more modern productions. I was listening to a lot more newer stuff and trying to learn like why I liked these new songs so much. And
like
trying
what?
to like Kendrick Lamar is a huge one, Drake, SZA, that whole album is so beautiful, Dua Lipa, oh man, Kehlani, Cardi B. There's a lot of amazing female artists coming out right now, and I was just enamored with their production styles and their lyrics. So, yeah, stealing a lot from a lot of different people. But then also going back to roots of like jazz and folk music and rock and classical and stuff. I try to use it all. There's a song called Roaring Twenties on the album that specifically talks about Broadway and like how much I was homesick, but I loved being out there. So it was kind of a bittersweet experience. So being able to talk about that and then make it sound like a speakeasy in the 30s or 20s is so fun to do. I'm a sucker for that stuff.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah.
And the video for Say Amen.
Oh God, yeah.
Tell me, are you okay? Are you all right?
I'm fine, but those guys did not survive. Basically Cloud Campos, who is a genius, we had done 2 videos previous. We did This Is Gospel was the first one that we ever did. And then we wanted to tie that together with something else. We had thought about at that point, like we should do a trilogy and tie the story into something else. We'll figure out the prequel later, which ended up being Say Amen. But then we went to, with Gospel and then Emperor's New Clothes. And for Say Amen, we tied it in like, how do I die? I have to do something really evil. So I steal this devil's key. I was like, all I want to do is honestly, I want to like pick up guys and throw them out windows and like cut hands off. And he was like, okay. Aesthetically, I'll probably be like a Kill Bill Kingsman. And I was like, yes, that's going to be perfect. So that's really what we did. We were just like, let's make it campy and gory and fun. And I just want to kick some ass.
I mean, you certainly did that.
It was so fun. That was crazy.
And the potato thing.
Yeah, the potato, right?
Yeah.
Why? Why did we? Yeah.
Any particular reason?
If somebody even paid attention a little bit to the video, I'm supposed to be cooking pasta, and then there's continental in the oven. You don't mix Italian and continental. What are you doing? Keep it separate. What are you doing? So there's potatoes and asparagus, and I stick a knife through it, put it through a guy's head. So we thought it'd be fun to send out mystery potatoes to fans. And kids were so confused, and that makes me so happy. I don't know why. I'm like, that's like as dark as I go. That's as vindictive as I'll be. I'll just be like, I made you guys confused. That's fun.
Yeah, that's great. And so your fan base, I think it's fair to say, pretty hardcore.
Yeah.
I guess there's 2 sides of that. One must be amazing, but also you mentioned last year you had to like move house because it got a bit intense. Was that last year or
it's good and bad. Yeah, it's like you said. It's good sometimes. It's good most of the time. And then certain aspects can not be so good. Yeah, we had found like our dream house. I wrote and recorded the last album there in the studio. I was having a blast, like in this dream home, loving it. And we started getting, packages and stuff sent to the house. I was like, that's fine. I'll send some stuff, send it back. And then I think, giving an inch, they took a mile, and then they started showing up to the house and jumping the gate and like showing up to the door. And we were just trying to have a nice quiet night in. And a couple times. My wife was home alone and like had to answer the door and was like, yeah, this really isn't appropriate, guys. I really would not appreciate you guys showing up to our house. Is very not okay. Please leave. And so we had to deal with it a couple times. But at that point, we just kind of felt unsafe. And we were like, people already know the address. We might as well move. But luckily we found a place that we fell in love with. It's even better.
Oh.
I also have a studio, so we just moved adjacent. You know,
Okay,
yeah.
that's good.
Yeah.
And yeah, so we put a post out on our Instagram and asked people to reply.
Okay.
You know, we got 1,800 replies.
Oh, so not that much. Yeah.
Not that many in about an hour. So
Oh
so yeah, but like I thought I would ask you some of the questions that the
please.
fans want to know.
I love these. Okay.
So they said in High Hopes, you sing, there's a line, I've got one more run and it's going to be a sight to see.
Ah, yes.
Quite a lot of them are concerned that this suggests that it's maybe the last Panic album.
Sure, I could see that.
But what do you think about that?
I mean, I didn't take it that way, but who knows, you know? I honestly, like, I'm one of those guys, I'm so impulsive. I could say that this will never be the last, but I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow, you know? I might wake up and be like, I'm done being a musician, I'm an actor now. I will go do theater. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't have any plans to stop,
you don't? Okay.
ever, like anytime soon. I want to be Mick Jagger, you know, like Mick Jagger's age, just still doing it, you know. That's the dream, is to go into your 70s, you know. Yeah, so there's no plan for that, but I'm glad that freaked him out a little bit.
Yeah,
he was
definitely.
paying attention to lyrics.
Yeah, there was
great.
more than one person that said that, so it definitely did.
That's a good conspiracy.
Someone else wanted to know if you had any traditions before you go into the studio or started writing songs, like any little rituals that you have.
Yeah. I don't know if I can share it. No, I do. Yeah, I do like to, I think that the best way to write is when you're relaxed. If you are in a state where you can let ideas freely flow and not be too combative with people and not let the ego get in the way, I think that's really helpful. And what helps me is I'll smoke a joint, and I'm in California, so it's legal. Okay. But yeah, I'll smoke a joint, usually have a beer, and that usually just calms me down, puts me in a place where I'm a little more at ease, and I can let the music kind of guide me into something that makes me feel excited about something rather than overthinking an idea. That's usually what I do. A lot of times, though, my best research and best traditions that I've kept is just researching music. And what that means is I spend 2 hours just listening to other artists and figuring out what I like, what I don't like about that. And then I decide from then, like, oh, that'd be cool to copy a song like this. And usually the song ends up different anyways.
Yeah.
But when you listen to an artist enough and you want to do a song like them as yourself, it'll probably sound like you. But that's a really good, if you guys are unsure about writing songs, try to copy somebody else's. I trust that it will not sound the same as theirs, and it's great.
Well, yeah, some other people were kind of wondering, like, how do you get started as a songwriter, or people wanting to set up a band, like...
Oh, yeah. It's exactly that. When I first started writing as a kid, I was probably 11 years old, got my first acoustic guitar, little baby mountain guitar that my dad got me for like $50, and I played the hell out of that thing. I would just sit there and pluck along, listen to music, and like, oh, that's that note, and try to figure out why that was that. But mostly I was just copying other people's songs. You know, it was bands like System of a Down and Nirvana. I would just sit there and copy their chords and be like, why does that feel that way? Just trying to mimic what they were doing. So yeah, I think, you know, imitation, highest form of flattery, but also the best tool for learning how to songwrite yourself. Just copy what somebody else did, you know.
Perfect.
Yeah.
And then we had some kind of like slightly random quick fire questions,
Great.
which I'm gonna fire at you right now.
Great.
Do you like bananas?
Love bananas.
Do you like cats?
I like cats.
Have you ever ridden a horse?
No. Whoa! Bucket list added. Okay, thank you.
How's your day been?
My day's been great, thank you.
What's your favorite cereal?
Oh man, my favorite cereal, Honey Bunches of Oats with almonds.
Do you like pineapple on a pizza?
I love pineapple on pizza. I'm one of those few.
What would your drag name be?
Drizella Cocaine.
And Laurel or Yanni?
It's Laurel, because I hear things in the low register.
It's totally Laurel.
It's Laurel, right?
It's, I mean, 100%.
It's Laurel, you get.
So what you got coming up this summer? You got Reading and Leeds coming up.
Yes.
Headlining.
Oh,
Excited?
I'm beyond excited for two reasons. The fact that we're doing co-headline with Kendrick Lamar. I'm such a Kendrick Lamar fan that I'm gonna have to kind of keep myself at bay to him, knowing that I'm going to want to pounce and be like, you're the best, you know, and just, I don't want to freak him out, so I'll keep my distance.
Have you met him before?
Never met him before, but
That's
I'm
gonna be exciting.
a massive fan. He seems like the coolest, like just the most down-to-earth, honest, you know, straightforward.
But what are Reading memories for you? You guys played there.
Oh man, I mean, well, the first time we ever played, we got 30 seconds into our first song and I got bottled, knocked out, you know? Then when I came to 2 minutes later, apparently, through the video, I woke up, My best buddy Zach was standing above me. I was like, how much time's gone by? He said, couple minutes. Is the band off stage? Yeah, they're over there. Okay, went to them. What are you guys doing? Get back on get on stage. We have to finish our set. And they're just like, okay, slow down, crazy. You just got a concussion. So then I ran back out there, purple eye and all, and just said, let's see how you guys do with my left side, you know? And then nobody threw a thing. And that's when I was like, okay, this means something, you know?
Yeah.
We got through it. I feel like we earned our stripes, you know?
Yeah, definitely, definitely.
That was fun. And every time since then, it's been like increasingly better. I love Running in Leeds so much.
Okay, so what can fans expect? A lot of new stuff. The album will be out by then, obviously.
The album will be out. We'll be playing so many new songs. And this time, now that we're doing co-headline, we get to finally bring production, which we've never really done before. We had lights before and like smoke, and that was it. We're going to have some fun little tricks on stage, yeah.
Exciting.
Yeah, it'll be good. I'm so excited. It's going to be good.
Oh, cool, man. Thank you very much.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, we'll look forward to seeing you throughout the summer.
Awesome. We'll see you then.
Okay, sick.